Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
how's it going, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of the Once and Future Book 2 Slipcase Edition. So, let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So, this is the latest Slipcase edition from Boom Studios. We've got actually 2 volume 2s this year. We had Something is Killing the Children and Once and Future. However, this finishes out this particular series. Here's the actual spine right here. Boom Studio, Once and Future, Kieron, Gillen, Dan Mora, and Deluxe Edition. And again, that skull down there, I don't know if you can tell. Here we go. There you go. And this image right here of this young lady, who, of course, has played an important part in the story. And you have the gold... There we go. Foil right here for Once and Future, Boom Studios, Kieron Gillen, Dan Mora, Deluxe Edition, Book 2. And that's the spine of the back of the slipcase. So, depending on how you want to store these on your bookshelves, they will look either like this or like this. Or I guess if you have the room, like so. Now, of course, these are the slipcase editions, and something you probably noticed right away is just how much thicker Volume 1 is. Volume 1 is also just a little more expensive. This one is $69.99 for the slipcase edition, while this one here is $59.99 for the slipcase edition. And both of them come sealed in plastic, but we are going to focus on this. Now, there is the option of buying it like this in Deluxe Edition, just like Volume 1. So Volume 1 came out in both slipcase and Deluxe Edition, and both of these retail for $49.99. So you have the option of buying it like this, and then I guess, well, wait, I already showed you the spines. So let's shift the focus back to this. Wanted to bring this back, the crown right there. And we'll talk about that character here in a little bit. And then right here, not sure if you can see, very similar to Volume 1, the different symbols of the guns and the dragons and the swords, of course, and then this character right there. And then the back with that skull and the guns. Long live the Queen. What does that mean? And then Deluxe Edition, Book 2 right there. And again, the little skull. Flat spine. Alright, we are going to crack this book open and talk about the particular stories in here. I assume you've read Volume 1. Just in case, though, there might be some minor spoilers talking about the pitch, and even the artwork might spoil some things, so just fair warning. Alright, let's go ahead and crack this book open. You have some red end sheets right there, the title page. Kieron Gillen, Dan Mora, Tamra Bonvillain, Once and Future, Deluxe Edition, Book 2. And all the people behind the scenes, and here are the creators. Kieron Gillen writing the story, illustrated by Dan Mora. Tamra Bonvillain is the colorist, and then lettering by Ed Dukeshire. And, of course, the credits to the covers and the slipcase edition, created by Kieron Gillen and Dan Mora. And we start off with Chapter 19. Now, there are no covers before the issues. The covers are on the back, so rest assured. We'll look at those here in a little bit. But first, this collects issues 19 through 30 of Once and Future. And it wraps up the series. This particular book has 336 pages. So the story picks up immediately where Volume 1 ended. And a lot of things have changed. We are now in the other world. And this is the stuff of legend. This is where we see the characters of Duncan and Bridget and Rose come into this world. But they're not alone, of course. They have some, well, for lack of a better term, Bridget's friends. They are attacked by fairies, and fairies aren't the way that they're supposed to be, like you read about in fairy tales. As a matter of fact, you will see this a lot here. All fairies are bastards. And then, of course, because of legends, they get to find out exactly how to defeat all of these fairies. But the main point to the story is that these characters are now gathered in this other world because pretty much the entirety of Britain is in this other world. So You have the character of Rose, who wants to go and find her parents. Bridget is like, no, we got to put an end to King Arthur, that he's come back. So in case you're not familiar with this, it is a actually really cool little twist on the Arthurian legend of King Arthur and a bunch of the knights, but also other legends in there too, like Beowulf, and a couple of things that happen through here that I didn't see coming. And it's really cool, like especially if you enjoy these type of legends and these kinds of stories, and you've read some stories by Shakespeare or even people like T.S. Eliot, poems. Like, there's a lot of beauty in here. There's a reason why my wife, who has a master's in English and loves this type of literature, is just drawn to books like this. For me, I know the basics, and honestly, between us, a lot of my Arthurian legends I know is because of Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail. I'm just being honest. That movie taught me a lot when I was in the 5th grade, and from there is when I started reading other things. Or Excalibur, the comic book. There, I said what I said. Hey, I'm not the one that got an English master's here on this channel. That's my wife. Got a master's in computer science. What was I thinking? Anyway, back to this book. So now we see them on the other world, and now they have to come up with a way to defeat Arthur and Merlin and all of those goons. So what ends up happening is that the one true king is no longer the one true king, because many legends are coming to England. Many legends are coming for the UK, and it's crazy. Just because you're familiar with one legend of Arthur doesn't mean that there's not another legend of Arthur. And they bring their own Merlin, or their own Merlin-like character. And that's what makes this story amazing. You have a lot of these particular legendary characters from literature just show up through here. So when I said that you would appreciate this a lot more if you know a lot of these characters, then absolutely, I mean that. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, though. In the last volume, and I'm not going to go into details, you do get to find out, the identity of who Duncan is supposed to be, who Rose is supposed to be, and of course, who Bridget is. The one character I do need to talk about is this young lady right here, and that is Mary. And Mary, of course, it turns out that she is related to Duncan and also related to Bridget, and you can put that together. It's not a big spoiler. It's actually revealed early on in book 1. But this is where, if all hell is breaking loose, and I need to show you some of this amazing artwork here, even though I'm flipping through here, the fight sequences are just completely worth it. You're like, I don't know anything about King Arthur or any of these legends, but the art is what keeps me coming back. Mary plays a big important part in this story, and she has to make a decision, because if all hell is breaking loose in the UK and everybody's in this other world, this magical realm, then how can she decide where to go? Like, where does she stand? Is she with King Arthur? Is she with one of the pretenders, as King Arthur likes to call them? Or is she with Duncan and Bridget and Rose? Like, where does she fit into all of this? Especially after everything she's done in the previous volume with Galahad and all that. So yes, you are going to see other kings in here, and not necessarily just King Arthur. You're going to see other knights through here, like Lancelot, which have made appearances in the past. And there is some redemption arcs for some of these characters. And not just borrowing heavily from Arthurian legend, actually borrowing heavily from other kinds of stories in here that you're probably familiar with. And I really enjoyed this. I think this one could have been twice as long, just because there's a little bit of a recap when the characters are waiting on Christmas Day, and there's a reason why they have to wait on Christmas Day. And it kind of just, it's almost like a 80s montage. You just needed some of that classic 80s tunes in the background as time passes by. And every one of those stories seemed just like something that I could have read a little 4-issue story arc on. But that's just me nitpicking, and it's because I'm guilty of loving this series and wanting more. And I guess if that's about one of the most negative things I can say about it, that I want it more, and it's not so bad. Dan Mora's art is completely gorgeous every single time. Let me just show you. I'm going to get to some action sequences here so you can appreciate what the art is like. And of course, he's not alone. You have Tamra Bonvillain, who does the colors that I think brings everything together. Now, there are a lot of characters that show up through here. So that's the one downside when it comes to action sequences. There are characters that are getting slashed left and right, and you're thinking to yourself, at least I am, and it's probably my fault because I read this in one sitting going, wait, whose side was that guy on? Oh, that's right. And I had to go back a little bit to kind of remind myself what exactly is going on and who is on whose side. Now, I do want to look at the extras because I don't even want to look towards the end here for you to be spoiled. And much like the first one, there are lots of extras. You have the Arthurian annotations back here by Ollie McNamee. And there's quite a lot where a lot of these inspirations came from. The cover gallery, and I'm going to make sure there's really no spoilers, because some of these variants, they don't really spoil anything. But they do give you the credit right there. And that is gorgeous. Mirka Andolfo. That's so badass. Bridget is one of my favorite characters in this series. I think most people that read this love that character. And some more. I really like these covers here. And if this isn't Bridget and Duncan's relationship, I don't know what is. And some more beautiful covers. Did skip a couple because I thought, well, maybe those are a little too spoilerish because something happens inside the book. And Long Live the Queen. What is that about? Wonder who that is on slipcase. Maybe. And then a farewell from Kieron Gillen right here, talking about just how much he loved this story and what it meant to him. And of course, Dan Mora and the little bio on the creators. Now, let's look at the binding of the book. 336 pages. It is sewn binding and printed like the original book in this thick, glossy format. I love this scene right there. I'm glad I picked that scene to turn to page 2. But that's it. That, as they say, is that. Anybody else want more? If you're interested in purchasing this particular slipcase edition or the deluxe hardcover edition, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcon at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content, the page count, and build of this edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you have volume 1 and you're picking this one up, or if you have the deluxes, or if you're sticking to the trades, or if you're going in completely blind just because you've heard word of mouth how great this is, or you love Dan Mora's art, or you buy everything that has Kieron Gillen's name on it. If you have any questions, leave those down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.